All right, so we're looking at tutorial sheet 3, and we start from question 1. It shows us to sketch the following, each of the following. And when you're looking at this, you see that these are just linear functions. So linear functions are the highest degree in that function of the variable which you're talking about is what? Is 1. So that's why it's what? It's a linear function. You see that on y it's raised to the power 1, on x it's raised to the power 1. That's what makes it what? A linear function. It's just a line. So now what we're going to do when it comes to looking at these linear functions, they're just telling us to sketch. And you have y minus 5x is equal to what? To 10. And then you know that sketching here, we're just talking about the xy what? Plane. So the xy plane is what we are talking about. So what are we going to do here? So now you can make this you can take the other side. So you have 2y, take the 5x the other side, it becomes 10 minus plus 5 what? 5x. And then you can divide by y by 2, which makes it this side you just have what? You have 5 over 2x, and then you have what? Plus 5 there. If you divide the 10 by what? By 2. So this is what you're going to get. Okay, so now you have it in this term. So you know that on your y plane like that, so this is your y-axis, that is your x-axis. So what do you need here? You need intercepts. So you need the y-intercept and the x-intercept. So the y-intercept is evaluated when what? When x is 0, and then the x-intercept is found when what? Y is 0. So let's first find the what? The y-intercept. So y-intercept is going to be, so we say y plus is equal to 5 over 2. Then where there's x, you put 0, then plus 5. So you know this gives you 0, and then you just have y is equal to what? To 5. So that's your what? Your y-intercept. And then you need to get your what? Your x-intercept. So your x-intercept, you're going to say, so x-intercept. In this case, we are saying y x-intercept because you know that they are all raised to the degree of 1. So you expect only to have what? 1 intercept. And then this here, you say where there is y, you put 0. And then you have 5 over 2x there plus what? Plus 5. And then I can take that the other side. Then I have 5 over 2x like that. Then I can multiply by what? By 2 over 5 on both sides. There 2 over 5. Then I get that x is just going to be equal to, so this side just get that x will be what? Negative 2. So x gives you what? Negative 2. So you have y equal to 5 and x equal to what? Negative 2. So those are the parts where what? This line is what? Is cutting. So you're just going to draw a line. So, and in this case, it's what? It's a slant line or a slope. So this here, you have, let's say 5 is there and you have a negative 2 somewhere there. So I'm just going to have, so maybe negative 2 is there where it's cut. So this here is the what? Is the line, or is a sketch for the line that is 2 y minus 5x is equal to what? Is equal to 10. Okay, so this is how you do what? You sketch this one. All right, let us do the what? The second one. Okay, second, so you have y plus x is equal to what? Negative 1 over 2. So here you say y is equal to, I can take the what? The other side comes negative, then I have 1 over what? 2 like that. Again, I just need the what? The intercepts for me to what? To sketch. So here you're going to have that this is going to be, so you put 0 there to get the y-intercept. So y-intercept, I'm going to have, if I put a 0 where x is, I'm going to end up with y is equal to what? Negative half. So that's my y-intercept. And then the x-intercept is going to be, you put 0 there, you're just going to end up that your x-intercept is going to be what? That is x equal to what? Negative half. Because when you put 0 here and take the negative x to the side, you just end up that x is equal to what? Negative half. So this is what you get. So these are your what? Intercepts. So again, you sketch like that. You just say there y, and then you say x-axis. So they're cutting on the negative what? So both negative what axis. So this means that negative half, negative half. So you expect something like that. So they are being negative what half, and they are also being what negative what negative half. So this here is the equation that is y plus x is equal to what negative half. Okay, so this is how you get that one. Okay, another way again that you would have gone that is I would say you counter checking is, so you see here that you have negative half, like x plus. If there's a plus sign here and whatever you have equal to here, if there's only y plus x and then whatever is equal to here, it means that both the x and the y are cutting at that at that point there, or at that value which you have. That's where they are cutting your axis. So you could have used that also. But then it's easier, I guess, also to think about it just as finding the intercept and then getting your answer. Okay. Again, I say if you have any question, feel free to ask as we go. Then the next is x is equal to y. So now x is equal to y just means that every value that of x that I'm going to plug in is going to give me what? That exact value is going to be the value of y. So if I have x is equal to 1, it means that y is equal to 1. If x is equal to what? To 0, then y is equal to what? To 0. So you see that I'm just going to end up to say, and again, you see that when you say your intercept is a point where the other value is 0. So you see that all of them, they are passing through the what? Through the origin. Because when y is 0, that's at that point. When x is 0, it's still at that point. So this here just gives you a line passing through the what? The origin like that. So this is y is equal to what? To x. So this is the line that you're going to get. And of course, you're going to be getting the same values. That is, if here it's 1, I expect what to get 1 here like that. If there it's 2, then like that, there I expect to get what? To get 2. So this is what this function is just telling us. All right, the last two questions are actually the easiest here. So you have there, so y, and then we say what? X here. So the next one is y is equal to negative 7. So y is equal to negative 7. If I have negative 7 here, so that's just a line that is passing or cutting through what? The point negative what? 7. So this is y is equal to what? Negative 7. Well, presuming that I just don't rub this, I can also sketch this one here at the same time. So if x is equal to 3, so x is equal to 3 here, you just draw a line passing through what? Through 3 like that. That is x is equal to what? To 3. So we've done both of these just like that. So this is how you deal with sketching what linear functions. All right, let us now come to the next one. So the next one, they're telling us to determine the nature of what? The nature of these equations that you have here. So now what do you use to determine the nature? So what we use the discriminant test. And the discriminant test, which I'll just say D is given by, that is B squared minus 4AC. So now these here, as you can see, are quadratic what? Quadratic equations. And then you know that the general form of the quadratic equation is just a squared, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So now, when it comes to this here, this is what we use. You can see you have your b, your a, and your c there. This is what you use here to get the what? The discriminant. And then your interpretation, the interpretation is just that. So if you get a value that is greater than 0, then it means that you have what? Two real roots. Two real roots. That would be the nature of your what? Of your equation. In short, what we are saying when we say two real roots, it just means that, let me write it, this implies two real roots. So this just means the root is just the solution of what? Of this, your equation. So it means that you are going to have what? Two values for what? For the value of x in this case, because there's x there, you can see using x. So you're going to have two values of what? Of x. Those are the roots that are what we are talking about. And then if d is equal to 0, it means that your roots are what? Are equal. Yes, of course, however you're going to solve it, you will solve it, but it means that you have equal roots. That means that x is just taking on what? The same value. So if you solve the first one, because you see that they're quadratic equations are raised to the power 2, it means that you have to have 2 solutions there. So now, if you have it like this, that you get the discriminant is equal to 0, it means you have 2 what? Equal roots. That means if you solve for the first one, you might get, let's say, 2, and then you solve for the second one, you still get what? You still get 2. So that's what it means. So here you are going to have what? Equal roots. And then the other one is that the discriminant is less than what? Less than 0. So now if it's less than 0, it means you're going to have what? Complex what? Complex roots. So if it's less than 0, then we get complex what? Complex roots. So complex roots. So it means that when you're solving, and more importantly, if you're going to use the formula, remember that formula which we use, that is you say b, you have negative plus minus there, and then you have what? Square root of what? Of 4, not of 4, of b squared, that is minus 4 what? 4ac, and then over what? 2a. Okay, something like this. So if you have this here, yeah, if I recall well, unless I've made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, so now what we are saying is that in here, in the root, you're probably going to have what? You're probably going to have a negative here. You end up having a negative value. Let's say negative 2, like that. So now what this means is that you're going to have a complex root, or because this here, you know that negative root 1 is just I, which is what the imaginary number, which makes this to have a complex what? Root. So if the discriminant is less than 0, then you have what? Complex root. So now next is just what? Plug and chug, because you already know now what to do, because you're using the discriminant to say this is b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so now let's start. So for the first one there, you see that's your a, that's your b, that's your c. So our b squared, so our b is negative 2. So negative 2. Remember, you're getting just the values, not the letters. So not the variables, just the constants there. So negative 2, and then you have what? Squared there, minus 4, and then your a is just 2, and then your c is negative 5. So here, this you get what? 4, then minus, there you are going to have what? 4, then here when you multiply, you just get what? Negative 10. Then you can multiply this negative plus multiply by that. So you get 4, there you get plus what? Plus 40. This just gives us what? 44. And 44 is greater than 0. So what are the nature? The nature of the roots is just saying that you have what? You have, you here are going to have real what? 2 real roots. You have 2 real roots. 2 real roots. And they are what? They're going to be distinct. So here, distinct, 2 real, and what? I would say 2 real and distinct what? Distinct roots. So it means that when you solve for this, the values of x are going to get are actually going to be what? To be different. Well, we will look at solving later, but for now, we just take it like that. Okay, next you have this one. So you see there, your b is just 4. So 4 squared minus 4, your a is 6, and then your c is 2. So this here, you square that, you get 16 minus there, you're going to get, so here you multiply, you get, so 6 by what is just 12, and then you have 12 by 4 is just 48. So here you subtract, you get negative what? 32. So, and this here is less than 0. So what does that mean? It means that the nature of this is that you're going to have what? Complex roots. Okay, so that's how you go about that one. Let's do the one that follows. So you have b, so you have 1 there, and then you have, so 1 there, squared minus 4, and then so your b, I mean, that's negative 10, sorry, negative 10. So, because that's the one with the x, negative 10 there, and then 4, your a is what? Your a is 1, and then you have your c to be 25. So this here gives us 100, and then you have minus. So here you multiply, you get 100. and this gives you 0. So now, since here, from what we said in the beginning, when you get 0, it means the nature of this is just that you're going to have equal what? Equal roots. And of course, they're going to be what? Real roots. So you have equal roots that are going to be what? Real roots here. Okay, so this is what you're going to what? This is what you're going to get. Right, so I don't know if we should continue with the others, but these things are just so simple to identify. I say we move on to the next one, unless you guys have any questions. Okay, so there's no question, so I move on to this part here. So now they're saying for each of the following, yes?
Yeah, where we have the other one where we have come from, everything is one x squared plus 2a. So
This
there
one?
on the constant, the C constant, you put a 0.
Yes, you put a 0.
4. The same as the other one, number 5.
Yes, yes, yes.
Number,
Okay, so where like this one here, you see that you have x squared plus 3x. So your a is 1, your b is what? Is 3, but you do not have a constant. Your constant is what? Is 0. So where the c, you put what? 0. And same for here, you see that you do not have the b part, it's 0, but then you have your constant there. So where you do not have the a, the b, or the c, just put the what? You have what? That means if you don't have it, means it's 0. Okay, so that's what you do. So just to take an example, this one here, number 5, we are going to say that, so your A you have and your C you have, but your B, so your B is going to be 0. So 0 squared minus 4, and then you have your A to be 1, and then you have your C to be negative 25. The negative sign there is following, if you observe here. So this here gives you 0 minus, then you have what? So 4 by that, negative 4 by negative what will give you a positive 100. And you get that this will be 100, which is greater than 0. It means you have two what? Two real roots. Okay, let's go on to this one. So now for each of the following, they're saying find the value or values of what? Of k, for which the quadratic equation has what? Equal what? Equal roots. So they're telling us to find the value of k for which they have equal roots. So the moment they talk about roots and they've told us that they're equal, remember it's just that you have to talk, then what should come into your mind is the discriminant test. So here you just say d is equal to what? B squared minus 4ac. So now since they're equal roots, it means that your d is going to be what? To be 0. And then you have your b squared. So your b squared is there. So your b is just 2k, and then you square there. Minus 4, your a is 1, and then your c is what? 25. So this here is going to be, so this here gives us what? 4k squared. Then here you get negative what? Negative 100. You get negative 100. And then here is 0. So I can take the 100 the other side, such that 4k squared is equal to 100, like that. Then if I divide by 4, I get k squared is equal to what? 25. Then I can take the what? The square root on both sides. So like that. This part will be plus minus, and then you get k is equal to plus minus. The square root of 25 is just 5. So this here you're going to get as your answer to say that k is either 5 or k is equal to what? Negative 5. And then if you so desire, you can prove this by testing back there. So that is when you put back, let's say we put the 5. So if you say x squared plus, let's do negative 5. So that will give you negative here. So 2 plus the 5 multiplied by 5 gives you 10. So 10x plus what? 25 is equal to 0. Now calculate the discriminant for here. So discriminant here, you're just going to have negative 10 squared minus, then you have your what? Your 4, and then you have your a is 1, and then you have 25 there. So this here gives you what? 100, 100, not 1000. So 100 minus what? 100, which is 0, which confirms, because they said it has what? Equal roots. So you get this here. Well, even if you do the positive 5, you still get the same answer. All right, so which just takes us to doing what? Doing that other one there, which we follow the exact same thing we've done. So we say b squared is equal to the discriminant there, equal root, so 0, and then minus 4 at AC, and then you have 0 there, b squared. What's your b squared there? It's just 12, so 12 squared minus 4. Then your a is what? Your a is k, and then you have your c to be what? To be k also. So this here is just gonna be 144 minus 4k what squared, then 0. Take the 4k, you get this side, and then you have 140 what? 144 there. Then you can just what? Easily divide this 144 divided by the 4. This here you get k squared is equal to what? 36. Get the square root, you get plus minus your k is equal to plus minus 6, which means k is equal to 6 or k is equal to what? Negative 6. So those are the values, and that's how you get the values. All right, let's go on to solving these other questions here. So next, they're telling you that solve the following using completing the square method. Okay, so here you must remember some steps. Okay, all right, so I'm going to teach you one way which I think is a faster way of getting the what? The answer. Yeah, so you have 2, the first one you have 2 squared minus 5x and then plus what? 6 equal to 0. So now to complete the square on the x, first of all, you always have to make sure that the leading coefficient of the highest degree of x is 1. So here factor out a 2 such that you have x squared minus 5 over 2x, then there you have a 3, and of course equal to what? To 0. Okay, so after factoring out, the next step here that you should do is, first of all, open your bracket inside and then write 1x here, only one of the x. And then what you do is, so you see this number here, which we have, this one here. So you have this number, you have it. So the negative 5 over 2, we have this number here. We have the coefficient of what? Of x, which is negative 5 over 2 in our case. How do we have? Just multiply by 1 over half. That's how you have any number. Just multiply by 1 over half. So this will just give us negative what? 5 over what? Over 4. And then you close. So now you don't put the x. So you close there, and then you have x squared. And then you always say minus. So put a negative. Always say minus. And then next, you get this same half number which you got like that, this same half coefficient, then you square it like that. And then you add the 3, and then you close, and then you go to 0. Okay, how many are confused? So everyone has followed. Okay, that's good, that's good. So here, first, always make sure that the leading coefficient there is of what? The constant is 1. Then after you do that, just get 1x. Whatever constant there, whatever coefficient is there for what? For x, half it. This is get this, and then you square there. Then you always minus, and then the halves here, oh, it has to be negative because there's a negative there. Negative 5 over 4, you square it. But either ways, you're going to still get a positive. But yeah, it's negative 5 over 4, and then you say plus what had remained there. So this will be 2, and then you have x minus 5 over 4 squared, and then this here will be minus. So when you square that, you get 25 over what? Over 16 plus what? 3, and then equal to what? To 0. Okay, so that's what you're going to get. So this now here, you're going to say, so add those 2 there, which is the negative 25, negative 25 over that 16 plus 3, you add that, you're just going to get that to be 23. So you're going to have that this is 2, then you get x minus 5 over 4 squared, then there you get minus, plus 23 over what? 16. Okay, equal to 0. And then you can distribute these 2 outside, these 2 which we distribute it inside. So you get 2, then x minus 5 over 4, and then square that. And then these 2 multiplied there, what are you going to get? So this 2 to there, 1. That 2 there, it's 8. So you get plus, there you get 20 what? 3 over 8 is equal to 0. Okay, then from here, you can take what? So from here, you can take that part, the other side. So you can take that the other side there. So what are we going to have? So here you're just going to have that if we take this the other side, you get 2x minus 5 over 4 squared is equal to negative 23 over what? 8. Then, of course, if it multiplies again by this 2, you're just going to have that, or dividing by the 2, you get 5 over 4 squared is equal to what? Negative over 16. And then you have that you can get the square root there and get the square root there, such that you have x minus 5 over 4, like that. And then this here you just get is going to be on top there, negative 23 over down there. If you get the square root of 16 is just 4, so you get 4 there. And then x is equal to, you take this the other side, you have 5 over 4 plus minus, because we took the square root. Then square root of negative 23 over what? Over 4. Now notice here that because of that negative in that root which we have, it means that you're going to get complex numbers. So it means x is just going to be equal to 5 over 4 plus minus there. You can write that as root of what? 23i. How? Because you know that 23 multiplied by what? Negative 1. You can write this as 23 and then what? Root negative 1. But this root negative 1 is just I and over 4. So this just gives you 5 plus minus root 23i over what? Over 4. So this here is going to be what? Your solution. It's not a real solution. So because you have what? A complex number. So this here, you cannot even plot it on what? On a Cartesian plane, because it's not a real solution. Okay, so this is what we get. All right, let's do the next one. So we follow the same steps of completing the square. So here you're going to have that x. So next one is x squared plus 5x and plus 3 is equal to 0. Already that there we have a 1, so that's okay. So next you just go directly get the x plus half the coefficient of x, which is just going to be, so 5 multiplied by what? Half, which is going to be 5 over 2. And then you square there, minus, get that 5 over 2 square it plus the 3 equal to 0. And you get x plus 5 over 2 squared, and then there you get minus 25 over 4, and then you have what? Plus 3. So that is 3 minus 25 over what? Over 4, which is going to give us negative 13. So equal to 0, negative 13 over 4. So you get x plus 5 over 2 squared, and then minus 13 over 4 equal to 0. Take it the other side, you're going to get x plus 5 over 2 squared is equal to what? 13 over 4. Then you can get the square root there, and then get the square root there. So this and that goes there plus minus. Then you have x plus 5 over 2 is just equal to plus minus. You can get the square root of 13. Down there, the square root of what? Of 4 is just 2. And then you have x is equal to negative, take it to the other side, negative 5 over 2 plus minus the square root of 13 over 2. So that square root of 13 over 2, we can't reduce it any further. So of course, we're just going to be leaving it like that. And then you have that this is negative 5 plus minus square root of 13 over what? Over 2. And this here is just gonna be, of course, if you want to separate them, you can separate them. Say this is plus, this one is going to be the smaller one, or x is equal to what? X is equal to -5 plus square root of 13 over 2. So these are the values they're going to have. And as you can see, they are what? Real values here. These are real roots. Okay, so that's how you go about that one. Okay, so do I have any questions? Do I have any questions? I just want us to cover the concepts here in the tutorial sheet. Are we clear here? Or should I do another one? Hello?
Do another one.
Okay, so let's do another one. We go to this one now. So we have 2x squared plus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. So if you're following, you know that we first factor out. We factor out that there because we want the x to only have the coefficient of 1. So factor out a 2 such that you have x squared there, plus there you get a 3x, and there you get a 1, and this is equal to 0. So this is 2. Then there now you can say, okay, get your x. So x, then half the coefficient of what? Of x. So that coefficient of x is 3. So half of that is just 3 over 2. And then you square minus. Then you get 3 over 2. Then you square it. Then plus what remains, that's a 1. So this here comes from a special 0 that you're going to watch.
I have a question.
Yes.
There on the negative, is it always you have to put a negative there when you make it up, when you square it? You have to put a square root. You have to put a negative always
Okay.
there on the
Yes.
mid. Yeah.
Yes, so there you're going to have a negative. So let me just now demonstrate where this is coming from. So pay attention to what is just inside. So if you have x squared there plus 3x, so if we say we have, we make a special 0 here. That is, you are going to be, so you're adding, that is the half there, 3 over 2 squared, and then you have what? Minus there 3 over what? Over 2 squared. So this here is the special 0 that we've made plus 1, because you know this changes nothing. 3 over 2 squared minus 3 over what? This gives you 0, and then you have the same. So this part and this is what is the same. So now here, if you group, when we group this here like this, so when we group this, we'll end up with what? With this here. So you see that you have x squared plus 3x, and then here you're just getting 9 over what? 9 over 4. So you're going to have what? You're going to have this here. Now here, you know that you can what? You can simplify it into what? Into you having what? Having this. So now notice that this here, let me get it. So x plus 3 over 2 squared. What this means is you have x plus 3 over 2 multiplied by x plus 3 over what? Over 2. And this is going to give you, this multiplied by that, you get x squared. This multiplied by that is going to be 3 over 2 x. Then that there you get 3 over 2 what? 3 over 2x. And then that by that you get 9 over what? Over 4. Now when you add these two here, you see that you're going to have what? So you keep the base 2, add what you have, 3 plus 3 is 6. Divide, you get 3. So that just simplifies to x squared plus 3x plus 9 over what? Over 4. This, which is exactly what we have here. So you see that this step is what I'm skipping. This step here is what I'm skipping. I'm going directly, or I have been going directly to this. But you see that it's the same. You make a special 0 there, and then this here, you cannot simplify it to just having this, and then you have the minus, this remain plus the 1, like that. So that's why there's that negative always appearing there. So now I'm sure you've seen where that negative is coming from. So this here now is just to finishing up this question. This link is gonna close. So make sure you rejoin using the same link. So this here you have, so I can distribute actually these two such that I have x plus 3 over 2 squared and then minus. So now you know that when you multiply, this here is 9 over what? Over 4. So you're just going to get 9 over 2 when you multiply by that 2 plus 1. Oh, if you multiply by that by 2 as well, you get a 2 here. Then equal to what? To 0. So I multiply this 2 by that and that 2 by this to get that. So now you have 2 minus that 9. Okay, so here, as we have said, that when you then add these 2, you're gonna get negative 5 over 2. So this here, you're gonna have that x plus 3 over 2 squared is just equal to negative what? 5 over 2 equal to 0. Then I can take this negative 5 over 2 the other side. So I have 2x plus 3 over 2 squared is equal to what? 5 over 2. Then if I divide by 2 on both sides, dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by half. Like that, I just get x plus 3 over 2 squared is equal to 5 over what? 4. Then get the square root there, get the square root there. So this will be plus minus, and then you have x plus 3 over 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 5, like that, then over what? Over 2. Because when you get the square root of 4, it's just 2. Okay. And this here is going to give us that okay, so here I can say that x is going to be, I can take that 3 over 2 the other side, so you get is equal to negative 3 over 2, then you have plus minus what? Square root of 5 over 2. And this gives you negative 3 plus minus square root of 3 over what? 2, since they have the same base. So it means x is equal to negative 3 minus root what? Oh, root 5 here. Yeah, square root of 5 there, and then over 2. All x is equal to negative 3 there. Then you have plus square root of 5 over 2. Okay, so that's how you get these solutions here. Right, is there any question? Okay, so there's no question, then I'm just gonna go to the last one here. So you have that, so you have this there. Yes. Is that a question? Okay, so if you're not asking a question, kindly mute your mic. So you have 3x squared plus 9x plus 3 is equal to 0. So now here, completing the square. So here you can see that you can simplify this. If you divide by 3 throughout, you have x squared plus 3 there, you get 3x, and there you get 1 equal to 0. If I divide by 3 throughout. So completing the square, you're going to have that this is going to be x there, then plus 3 over what? 2. Then you square it, because you're halving that. You're halving half the 3. There you get 3 over 2. Then minus the 3 over 2, then you square it, then plus 1 is equal to 0. Then you have x plus 3 over 2 minus 9 over what? Over 4 plus 1 is equal to 0. So now what is that? You have 1 minus the 9 over 4 gives you negative 5 over 4. So this will be x, so the squared here, x plus 3 over 2 squared minus 5 over 4 is equal to 0. And this here is going to be x plus 3 over 2 squared. Take it the other side, it becomes what? Positive. Then get the square root here, get the square root there, plus minus. And then you have that this will be x plus 3 over 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 5 over 2. And then you have x is equal to 3 over 2 plus minus square root of 5 over 2. And you have x to be equal to 3 plus root of what? 5 over 2 OX is equal to 3 minus root of 3 or 5, I mean, root of 5 over what? 2. Okay, so this here is what you get as your answers. All right, do you have any question? Right, so there's no question. That means we can what? We are cleared to go on to the next one. So now, again, they're telling us by completing the square, rewrite each of the following functions in the form, that form there that has been given. So we are just completing the square here and writing, and then not just rewrite, but then they're telling us, hence, graph. So you sketch the graph. And then what? That is showing clearly your x and what? Y-intercept and your turning point. So this is what I'll make mention from the start, that already we've looked at the x and y-intercept. That when getting the y-intercept, it is just when x is 0, that's when that gives you y-intercept. Then to get the x-intercept, it's when y is 0. The turning points will be gotten easily by just completing the square. So the turning point, according to this general form that you see here, the turning point is just you multiply. So here you see you have negative h. So you multiply this here by negative to get positive. And then you write your k. This is what is going to be your turning point. That's the easiest way to get the turning point. Okay, so now let's complete the square and then we do that. So we have f of x is equal to negative 2x squared, then plus 4x minus 5. So now that we have this one here, what do we do? So first of all, the way to complete the square does not change. So here you factor out that negative 2 and you have x squared. That gives you negative what? 2x. And then you have a positive 5 over what? 2. So I've just divided throughout here by negative 2 because I factored that negative 2 there. So this here is going to give me negative 2. Complete the square there, I get x minus, so you have half the coefficient of x, and in this case it's negative 2. So half that you get negative 1, and then you square that minus negative 1 squared, then plus 5 over 2, and then I close there. So this here is going to give me, that is negative 2, then you have x minus 1, square that. Here, negative 1 squared is just 1. So you're going to have minus 1 plus 5 over what? 2. So you're just saying that 5 over 2 minus what? Minus 1, which is just going to give you like 3 over 2. So here, you're going to have, okay. So here I close. So you're going to have, this will be equal to negative 2. There you have x minus 1 squared. Then there you just get a positive 3 over 2 like that. Then you can multiply. So multiply that negative 2, you get x minus 1 squared. And then you just have, that is negative. So this negative 2 divides there, you get negative what? 3. So this is what you're going to have. And if you look at exactly what has been given, the form, you see you have your a there, which is our negative 2. You have your h there, which is your what? Your 1. And then you have your k there, which is what? Negative 3 there. Okay, so you've made sure that you've completed a square in that form. So what is next? So I'm going to do this. I erase, and then let me just write the answer we found. I'll write it here, negative 2, x minus 1 squared minus 3. So, okay, let us write there. Now, after we have done that, what are we then going to do here? So now they want us to sketch. But to sketch, what do we need? We need the intercepts, we need the turning point. So first of all, let's find the what? The x-intercept. So the x-intercepts are found when what? Y is 0. In short, f of x is 0. So here you're going to get what you found, -2 there, x minus 1 squared minus 3, and equates to 0. So here you're just going to have that when you, so here you see that when you multiply here, you can multiply this throughout by what's this? Throughout by negative what? By that negative 1. So if you multiply throughout by -1, this gives you positive. So you're gonna get a positive value, which is gonna be 2x minus 1 squared, and then you have positive 3 equal to 0 there. Okay, so just making sure that on that positive 3 we are okay. So this here is going to be now when you see here, if you take that the other side, you have x minus 1 squared. Take it the other side, you get -3. Now this here should be a key indicator that when you just reach here, you see that this here you can't sketch. You can't sketch. Can someone tell me why we can't sketch this one on the xy plane? Hello? Why can't we proceed here sketching on the xy plane? Come again?
Because when you put the square root inside, the negative, it's going to be the second person.
Okay, so exactly. So this here, you see that when we get here, when we further, you see we divide, you get x minus 1 squared, you get -3/2. Now when you introduce the square root here, introduce the square root there, you see here, this gives you what? A complex number. And then we know that on the xy plane, this xy plane, x or y plane, here you just plot what? Real numbers. So this has real numbers stretching from negative infinity to what? Positive infinity on the x and on the y. Now, because you get complex, meaning here just conclude no real roots. And like that, you forget and you want sketch. But then because you want sketch does not mean that this is for the what? For the x-intercept. So x-intercept, you have what? No real roots. You have what? No real roots there. So you can find the roots, the complex roots, but then you have no what? Real roots, so we can sketch. But then we can also find the what? The y-intercept. So so these are the x-intercepts. In this case, because we're not dealing with a quadratic function, you're going to be having 2. That's why you have a plus minus here. So these are the x-intercepts you're going to get. Now, let's talk of the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, we just said when x is 0, what are you going to get? So you get that y will be equal to, put 0 there, put 0 there, you get -5. So that is your y. Then your turning points. So your turning point, very keen, let me raise this. Here we say that your turning points, turning points. So your turning points, what are they going to be now? So in this case, you have that. This value here, which you have negative, that -1. So as I said, it's h comma what? H comma the k you have there. H comma the value of the k which you have there. So here you see that your k, so now you see there's -1 there. You multiply that, of course, by what? Positive. That you just get your what? Your h. So you multiply that, I mean by negative, to get a positive. So negative there, you just have, that would be 1. And then your k is what has remained there, which is -3. This here is your turning point. So that's how you get your what? Your turning point. Okay. Are we clear before we move on to the next question? Right, so since there's no question there, that means here we are done with this one. We cannot sketch because we have said that they have complex what roots. Right, so let us then do that number 2, which is you have it like that. So first of all, they've told you complete the square. So you have negative 3x squared plus 4. So here, if I say negative 3 out, you have x squared, and then what you have there, you have minus 4 over what? 3. Then you have, now look here that the coefficient of here, you do not have that coefficient of what? The coefficient of x. It is not what? It is not here. So like x, I mean, x itself is not what? Is not here. So meaning this here, how can I write it when you notice this? So when you notice this, you can, before you proceed here, you can write this now in a form that is negative 3x squared. There you can write that plus, or if you put minus, doesn't matter really, plus, minus, whichever you're going to go for, it won't change anything. So here you say 0x and then plus 4. Then here when you divide, so now you can factor out that negative 3, you get x. There, what are we going to get? There, of course, you still get 0. So, but then I'm going to put a place value just for that. That will be negative 0x. It doesn't change anything. It's still 0. Whether I've put the negative what, just still going to be 0. And then there you have what? Negative 4 over what? 3. So this is what you get. Now this here is going to be equal to, so negative 3. So there I can say that is x. I write the x minus, so half the coefficient. The coefficient is what? Is 0. So half that coefficient is 0. And x there squared minus half. If you square 0, you get 0. So if you square 0, you're gonna get 0, still 0. And then minus 4 over 3 like that. And then you have negative 3 there, then x minus 0 squared minus 4 over 3. Multiply by that negative 3, you get 3x minus 0 squared, and then you have a plus there, plus what? You're going to get plus that positive what? Positive 4. Now, we have written it according to what they are asking us in the question. You see your A there, you see your H, and you see your K there as what? As required. Right, so do we have any questions here? So we've completed the square. That's step number 1, complete the square. So now I write it here, negative 3x minus 0 squared plus 4. So I've written it that way. Next, anyway, we have to find the intercepts. So let's find the x-intercepts first. So the x-intercepts, you're going to equate this to what? To 0. So you're going to have the negative 3, and then you have x minus 0 squared plus 4 is equal to 0. Now this here, what does it give you? Take that there. Here you just get x squared and is equal to what? That there gives you negative 4. Then divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. You have that x squared is equal to 4 over 3. Get the square root, plus minus. You have x is equal to plus minus. There on top you get 2, and there you get the square root of 3. So it means x is equal to what? Negative, can start with either way. Negative 2 over root 3 over root 3, or you have x is equal to what? Positive 2 over square root of 3. So you have these 2 here. So your intercepts, let me write them here. X is equal to 2 over root 3 or x is equal to -2 over square root of 3. So that's what we get here. Nice. So next we need to find the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is when x is 0. So now here, if you put 0 here, you see that you get y is equal to 4. So the y-intercept is just y is equal to 4. So meaning the graph has to cut or pass at y equal to 4. Okay, now what else do we need? We need the turning point. So the turning point is going to be equal to, so here you see that your h, just multiply that by a negative, you just get 0. And there's nothing as -0, of course. So it's 0. So they are 0, and then you get this number the way it is. With the sign that is there, that's what you do. So you get 4. Notice that here you'll be multiplying by a negative always, but that one you get it the way it is with the sign the way it is. That's the turning point. So this here is our turning point. The turning point, I'll write it here, 0, 4. Writing it there for reference's sake. Yes.
How did you get your turning points to be 0? Yeah.
Here. Okay, so remember a turning point is a coordinate that has is a point that has the x coordinate and the y coordinate. So here, this one here represents our x coordinate, which is here, as I mentioned earlier, that is just h. So the h there, which is after you multiply by negative, you get h, represents your what? Represents your x coordinate. And then your y coordinate is just the k, which is there like that. So here, that is your what? Your y coordinate, and that's how you get it. So now here, after we had completed the square, I'm sure you are following, we got this here. And then you see that there's 0 here for x. That's why you have there 0. And then you get that point there, the way the k, the way it what the k there, or that what the way it is. Okay, so that's what you do. Or you can think about it that you're just equating, say what is inside, x minus h equal to 0. And then you find that x is equal to what? To h. So here, in short, x minus 0 equal to 0. It's just going to be 0 anyway. So that means that x is equal to what? To 0. So that's what you're essentially doing there. Okay, so I hope that is clear of what we are doing there. Okay, so and then your y, you just get that there. That would be the what? That would be the coordinate for the turning point for your y coordinate of that turning point. So that's what you do here. Okay, next now it's just to sketch. So here you're going to have x, there you're gonna have y. Now, so here, what are we going to what? So we have already the intercepts, and you have your what? Your y. So next is how to determine, first of all, what direction is this graph facing? Is it going to give me, so here, is it going to give me a minimum turning point? So here you see minimum turning point or maximum turning point, like that. You can actually know even before you sketch. How you see here that the general form, again, I say is ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, when your a is greater than 0, it means your graph is going to what? To have a smiley face. It's going to look up. So meaning you have a minimum turning point. You expect your turning point to be down. When your a is less than 0, your graph is going to what? To face down to the negative direction, because a is negative, it's less than 0. That means you have a maximum turning point. Your turning point will be what? Up there. All right, so now you have those conditions set. And as we can see from here, we had written this as 3x squared plus 4. So you see that here your a is negative, it's less than 0. So we expect this graph to what? Look down. And we have all these points to help us what with that. So now, -3, there you have a -2, I mean, -2 divided by √3 is somewhere, that should be 1 point something. Yeah, it would be 1 point something, because when you evaluate that root of 3, the square root of 3 is like 1.7 something. So that can go into -2. So you get -1 point something. So it's somewhere here. And the other one also, of course, is going to be somewhere there. And then you have your turning point. Your turning point is at 0, what? 0,4. So let's say 4 is there. 0, of course, is here. Y, x is 0, 4 there. So it's meeting at that point there. That's your turning point. So, and then we have also that the y-intercept is cutting the graph at y is equal to 4, which is exactly that. So meaning here, we just like that, and then like that. Okay, it's a sketch, but let it look at least. Yeah, so you have something like this here, which is at that point, of course, you know, it is 2 over what? 3, and there it is -2 over what? Over 3. So this here is the graph of f of x, or you could say y, but anyway, f of x is equal to 4 minus 3x squared. Even if you say y is equal to 4 minus 3x squared, nobody will penalize you. Okay, so we've sketched now. Right, so any question? Okay, are we clear on how to sketch? Okay, so it's quiet. I presume everybody has what has heard. So maybe somebody is too. Okay, so what I was saying is for somebody who's not yet understood what we're doing, let's do the second one here that we show them and that everybody should understand. So you have 3 squared plus 6x minus 4. Complete the square, factor out at 3, then x squared. There you're going to have there 2x, and then minus 4 over what? 3. Then this will be 3. Inside there, complete the square. That says x plus 1 squared minus 1 squared is just 1. So I'm going to go direct and write 1. And then minus 4 over what? 3. So there, what do you get? So 1 plus 4 over 3, you get that is going to be 7 over 3. So this here, you get that is 3. Then you have x plus 1 squared minus 7 over 3, like that. Okay, then this here, we can distribute that 3. You get 3x plus 1 squared. There you get negative what? 7. Right, so now let's do what they want us to do. So first of all, we get the x-intercept because we've completed the square. X-intercept when y is 0. Okay, so here we're saying that when y is what? Is 0, what are we gonna do? So here, okay, so here you say this will be 3x plus. Okay, so my network had kicked me out, but what I'm saying is that 3x plus 1 squared minus that equal to what? To 0. Take the 7 the other side, you have 3x plus 1 squared is equal to 7. Then divide by 3, you're going to have x plus 1 squared is equal to 7 over 3. Get the square root, even there, get the square. Then plus minus there. Then you have x plus 1 is equal to plus minus the root of 7 over 3. Then x is just equal to negative 1 there, plus minus square root of 7 over what? Over 3, like that. Okay, so this is what you get there. So you have that your x values, that is just, I write it here, negative 1 plus minus root square root of what? 7. You can also write it as square root of what? 3 down there. So like that. Next, you have to find your y-intercept. So your y-intercept is when x is 0. So here put 0, there put 0. You see, you just get y is equal to what? Negative 4. So that's your y-intercept. Then your turning point would be, so x plus 1 equal to 0, you get x equal to negative 1. So there I get negative 1, comma, you get that the way it is, it's negative 7, so you get negative 7. So that there is what is our turning point. Okay, so now we have our turning point, and then we notice that here, that this is positive. So it means that we expect a graph that will look what? Up. So that's what we expect. All right, so let's now sketch. So you have this here and you have that there. So you see that your y is passing through what? Negative 4. Let's say negative 4 is somewhere there, negative 4. And then you have negative 1, comma 7, negative 7, negative 1. Say negative 1 is there. Negative 7 is probably down there. Negative 7 is somewhere maybe there. So this point, negative 1, comma this is your turning point. Okay, so it means that you are having your graph here. It will turn from this point to pass through there, and it's going to what? Go like that. And then this other side also like that. So you can see that from here that this part is going to be the negative 1 plus square root of 7 over what? Square root of 3. And there that is, the other one is negative 1 minus root of 7 over root of what? 3. So this here is what you get. So this here is the graph for that function, which is just y is equal to what? 3x squared plus 6x minus 4. Okay, so I'm sure at this point now, everybody has come to what? To understanding of what we are doing. Is there any question? Okay, so since there's no question, this is going to be all for today. But then to those of you guys who haven't subscribed to this channel and also who have not subscribed to our website, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. But then this is how you do it. So just visit your web browser there and go in, type there discretelearning.com. And then after typing there, you have here discrete learning. Just sign up for an account here if you do not have what? An account. Then if you have an account, it will show like this. And then you enroll in this course, mathematics here. Enroll in this course, enroll in this what? Course. Then here you have general what? Mathematics. So many of you saying no class, this, that. We're having live classes that yes, you might ask, but then you can learn at your own pace. All the topics here that are even in this tutorial sheet, they've already been covered here. Whatever we're talking about, these quadratic functions today that we're doing, they've already been covered here. You can just go here, go there, and just watch these videos. They're already there. Look, all of these resources here. You guys, you don't want to watch these. You can watch them at your own time. These are not on the YouTube channel, by the way. If you think you find them on the YouTube channel, you won't find them. These are just what on the website. They are good lessons that we have done and made for what? For you guys to watch, to learn at your own pace at any time. It's just a matter of switching on your data. As long as you're enrolled in this course, you can what? You can learn at your what? At your own time. Then that's not the only thing that is here that is helpful. To those that had subscribed earlier, of course, the tutorial sheets, the solutions are just posted here, the video solutions. As you can see, I didn't solve all the questions, so it means the rest of the questions will be posted in there. But then you have test WASIS 1 that is going to come up very soon. And then when you go here, quiz papers, and you have there UNZA, then you go there, you have video solutions. So video solutions there, and then you have math 1110. It's here. So you just click there, math 1110. So math there 1110. Now, as you can see here, this here is in the past assessment. Now, those that had subscribed before they wrote quiz 1, you see here all these quizzes. Quiz 1 deferred, quiz 1, 2023, 2022, 2024, 2025, 20. They are there. Those that subscribed before the quiz, I'm sure they passed because they went through all these and they saw how questions come. So even for the test, they'll be posted here, and you see how they come only on the website, and they will not be posted on the YouTube channel. So if you want to subscribe, you don't know how, just simply contact me. That is at +2609587035568. So this is the contact. I will help you on how to register. You can WhatsApp me. It's only 100 kwacha, guys. Simply 100 kwacha, and you can have access to this learning experience, and we'll make sure that we help you to pass your NS, or to pass this mathematics course that you're taking. Okay, so that is all from me, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.